much for security reasons. So since the First Minister's spokesperson has already told us where he stayed, can we now be told how much taxpayers' cash Alex Salmond spent on himself in the Peninsula Hotel?
Deputy First Minister. Joanne Lamont would, I have absolutely no doubt, be standing here and criticising the First Minister if he wasn't going overseas when appropriate to promote the economic interests of Scotland. But when he does do it, she stands here and criticises him as well. I think we can safely conclude that Joanne Lamont will criticise this government regardless of what this government does. And the reason for that is she has no positive programme and no positive ideas of her own to put forward. I can certainly tell Joanne Lamont where the First Minister won't be staying when he's in New York this week. He won't be staying at the Benjamin Hotel, which is, I understand, frequented by Paul McCartney and used to be the favoured hotel of Jack McConnell when he attended Tartan Week. I gave some figures earlier on about the cost of Tartan Week. I gave the 2006 figure. Let me give the 2005 figure, 895,000. The 2007 figure, £765,000. Can I say that in no year since this government has been in office have the cost of going to Tartan or Scotland Weeks been anything close to the figures I have just read out? So can we not agree that it is right for this First Minister, as it was right for his predecessors, to go overseas to promote the economic interests of Scotland? And can we also agree that they have a duty to ensure value for money for the taxpayer? And I think on the figures I have read out, this government is rather better at doing that than the previous administration was. Joanne Lamont.
First of all, there's an issue of public trust and accountability with the public.
Order, please.
Secondly, nobody is disputing that there should be visits abroad. You are able, the Deputy First Minister is able to quote figures about previous trips. The point is, we can't quote the figures for the cost of Alex Salmond to go to the Ryder Cup. It is an issue of transparency, and the First Minister and now the Deputy First Minister are refusing to answer. Because the only thing we know for sure about the First Minister's trip to the Ryder Cup in 2012 is that the Scottish Government doesn't want to explain how much taxpayers' cash Alex Salmond spent on himself. When we do get an answer, the number of people on the trip change, the figures change, but no accounting is given. The First Minister went to the $2,000 a night Peninsula Hotel in September 2012. In January 2014, he still couldn't say how much money he had spent on himself. In January 2014, the First Minister said the questions about his spending would be answered as soon as possible. He asked, why shouldn't they be? Well, it's now April 2014. The question hasn't been answered. Why shouldn't it be answered now?
Deputy First Minister. This is desperate stuff from the Leader of the Opposition. The key point about Alex Salmond's visit to the Ryder Cup, I would say, was that he was promoting Scotland as the host of this year's Ryder Cup. Second point is, the reason I am able to read out the figures I have read out is because we are transparent about the costs of overseas trips. We are also transparent about the benefits, the jobs created from overseas trips as well. And also the fact, as I've been able to demonstrate from the figures I've read out, is that we get better value for money, so it would seem, than predecessor governments. But you know what? I think what Joanne Lamont has chosen to do today, not for the first time and I'm pretty sure not for the last time, which is to indulge in smear and insinuation instead of discuss the real issues of the day, is probably one of the reasons that Labour is in the sorry state that it is in Scotland today. as was commented on in Holyrood magazine just this week. Every second word of Joanne Lamont's party conference speech started with the letter S and ended with the letter P. She talks more about the SNP than she does about Labour's prospectus for Scotland. And, I can't put it any better than Holyrood magazine did. What has happened?
Order.
What has happened to Scottish Labour? It seems hope has been replaced by hate. It used to be a party of inclusivity, but now it condemns its critics and isolates dissenters. Labour has lost its way, and Joanne Lamont has just demonstrated that today.
Joanne Lamont. Order. Joanne Lamont. It has been said that you can tell when the First Minister is unadjacent to the truth. Nicola Sturgeon's lips are moving. Because the fact of the matter is, order, please, order. It's very simple. The very simple. In all of that nonsense there, not an answer to a simple question about spending public money. The public deserve to know. The First Minister spent £500,000 to go to the Ryder Cup. Order. The First Minister spent £500,000 to go to the Ryder Cup, but he cannot or will not explain what he spent on himself. Was this like his trip to China, when he spent taxpayers' money on himself and then only repaid it when there was a freedom of information request? Is that why the First Minister hasn't answered the freedom of information request this time? Is that why, a year and a half later, ministers still won't answer parliamentary questions on how much cash he spent? Has he paid any money?
And that's just about as much as I can play on that one. This is Sunday Politics. Here's a bit of Aha. Take On Me. That was FMQ. You can listen to that if you want, easily. 7:23.
To find you, shine
Thank you. That's Take On Me here on Radio Toby. Good evening. This has been Sunday Politics. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week, hopefully. Farewell. Bit of feedback there. This is Freddie with Innuendo from We Will Rock You.
Do I see a little silhouette of a spy?
Make love, not war!
Attention! This Spotify
Sunday
banner is in
Politics
urgent
on
need
Radio
of kicking.
Our latest. Sunday Politics with Charlie Greenwich.
Radio Toby.
You're listening to Radio Toby.